Hi guys, and welcome to this week's video. So this week I'm going to make a beer chiller, basically because it's about that time where I want to try and make some more home brew, and normally I try and chill it by putting it in a big large bucket of cold water, but it takes a bit too long to do, and so I've bought some copper wire or copper piping. Let's get going. So here I am in my man cave, and what I've got is my pot that I normally do my home brew in. It's a slightly smaller pot and I'm hoping to buy a bigger one at a later date. But what I want to do is find something that I can wrap the copper piping around so that it will fit into my vat that I've got here. So what I've done is I've managed to find an old sort of spray pump, and this is perfect size, hopefully, to wrap my coil pipe round, and that will then fit inside the pan. So I've moved inside because what I want to do is bend a coil on something smooth, and in our bedroom we've got this really nice wool rug, so I'm going to sort of bend it on that so that hopefully it doesn't cause any damage when I'm bending the copper pipe. What I want to do is you need to make sure you leave at least 1 meter first in order to create a kind of loop of where you're going to hang or connect your water to. So the idea is I'm going to have a piece of hose on both ends, and one end I'll connect to my hose pipe outside, and it'll just basically put water all the way through the coil and then out the other end. If you have a hook at the end of it, then it means that where you've got the actual fitting, if there's any kind of leak or anything else, it'll actually leak kind of outside of the container. So what I'm going to do is have about 1 meter spare on both ends to be able to create that kind of loop, and then I'll coil the rest of it around my old sort of spray bottle that I've got here. So let's get going. So as you can see here, I'm just wrapping the copper pipe around this tub, and it's just to give it some sort of form that I can bend around, something hard that I can bend around. I'm using a 10mm copper pipe here, and it's relatively easy to bend, but I'm just pushing it and bending it around here and trying to keep this as tight as possible. So as you can see, I've now bent it round the plastic tube that I had, and it's giving it a nice shape. You've got to be really careful when you're bending it. You really don't want to kink the copper pipe. If you kink it, it can then start to create a leak, and that's the last thing you want, because you don't want water going into your beer. So be really, really careful when you're kind of bending the copper pipe. Just do it really, really slowly, and that's why I've done it on this really fluffy rug here, so that at least it's sort of well protected when I'm kind of bending it down. But as you can see, I've now created the right shape that I want, and it's got 2 spouts at the end that would then bend over out of the pot, and it obviously fits in the pot really, really well, you know, nice and snug with not too much piping everywhere else. So this will hopefully work really, really well. So I'm really happy with the outcome of this. The next thing to do now is to get some old hose and cut them to size and put some Jubilee clips to seal it. Back outside to the man cave. So I've got my piece of hose, but as you can see, my piece of hose is too big for the pipe. I don't particularly want to buy any more hose because I'm only using a meter or two of it. So what I've tried to do is I've got some grommets that I had spare, and I've just tried to put them on the copper pipe, and the idea is I'm going to squeeze this on and then put a Jubilee clip on it to hold it in place. But that should hopefully fill the gap there, and then obviously with a Jubilee clip as well should work really well. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I did have another option of using some old beer piping that I had. So the plan was to try and put that on, or cut a little bit of this off, which would have gone on there, and then use that as a grommet. But even that was too small when I then put it in the hose itself. So even when I put it in the hose, there was still too much of a gap there as well. So I think that wasn't going to work. So I think this grommet option is the best option, but I'll give it a go and we'll see if it works or not. So there we are. I've now got both of the hoses attached by Jubilee clips to my coil. So the next thing to do now is to put a hose ending on one end and connect it to the hose to make sure there's no leaks. So here we are. I've now got the hose connected to the tap, and I've also got everything connected. So let's turn the water on, and hopefully water should come out of this bit here, he says. Yay, there we are. So there's the water coming out, and at the moment it doesn't look like there's any leaks. So let's turn the water up. So the water's coming out. I'm going to put it on full blast now, which means there's lots of water coming out. And look at that, not a drop. I am really, really pleased with that. That means that there's some really good seals on there, and obviously the water is going to be going through here, and I can already feel that it's cold, so that's going to chill my beer down really, really quickly. So I'm really happy with that. Just so you can see the finished article, you can obviously see I've fitted a hose end to there. It pumps round there and it will go all the way through my chiller and then back out this second one, and obviously just out. So there we are, there's my chiller, and all ready for me to make my next brew. Hopefully it will chill it down a lot quicker than I was chilling it before. I hope you enjoyed this week's video on how to make your own wort chiller, and I hope you have as much success as I have. Please don't forget to subscribe and like so you don't miss out on future videos, and I'll see you next time. Cheers guys, bye.